Shalom. Brakatha Yahweh. Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh. Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh. Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. The honors to the apostles and elders and great millstone who teach one and well who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk in the whole night throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akwath, listening, learning, sincerity, and the truth and the silence, Shalom. Akyam, meaning brothers, Akwath, meaning sisters, Shalom, meaning peace be unto you. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp here in Toronto, here with another lesson. All right, we'll get right into it. Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. Right? And this is from the biometricupdate.com, July 18th, 2025. The hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction of Esau. Right? But all roads lead to the MOTB, man. Right? And every nation, right? Every nation, listen, all nations are in bed with the beast. Revelation 17. Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right? The judgment of the great whore. The great whore being America, America the Great, Babylon the Great, that sitteth upon many waters. The waters is the people. Right? All nations are within America the Great, Babylon the Great. Verse 2, here's the point. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Right? So all nations are in bed with this beast, this whore, the beast system. The beast being America, NATO, the EU. Right? All nations have committed fornication with her. They're all in bed with the whore. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Right? Drunk with the wine of her fornication. The wine being her philosophy. NLT. The kings of the world have committed adultery with her, and the people who belong to this world have been made drunk by the wine of her immorality. Right? You could be a Mo in America the Great, Babylon the Great. You could be a Skittles kid, whatever you want. Right? That wine has gone throughout the four corners of the earth. Degeneracy and sexual immorality is worldwide. Right? The wine of the beast. Right? But all nations are in bed with the whore. We saw when the serpent piss came out. All these nations had their own Steph Curry with their own names. Right? Different countries had different names for their version of the Steph Curry. Right? This clown a few weeks ago, Chief Ephraim, coming out saying, what did he say? How is America? How are all these nations going to push a C-hip? How are all these nations going to fall in the line? Listen, man, each nation, scriptures say, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Right? You go in that word causeth is poeo, meaning to prepare, to get ready. These nations are all going to come with their version. Right? Just like when the serpent piss came out, the nations had their own version of the Steph Curry. Anyways, let's read this. It says Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens, right? So it was previously optional. Now they're making it mandatory. And it reads, last month, legislators approved amendments to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier known as Unique Population Registry Code, with the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree. Right? Let's look at that word decree. Online etymology, noun, special ordinance or regulation promulgated by authority. Right? Early 14th century, originally ecclesiastical, secular use is by late 14th century. From Latin decretum, to decree, decide, pronounce a decision, to separate, to sieve, right? But right up here it says, special ordinance or regulation promulgated by authority, right? Scriptures say, he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. It says here, the mandatory CERP will contain personal and biometric information, including a photograph and a QR code containing biometric fingerprint and iris data. The identifier is expected to be introduced gradually to all Mexicans by February 2026. Right? All roads lead to the MOTB, man. Everything is beta testing, working out the glitches, working out the kinks. Right? They're going to upgrade 5G to 6G. Right? They're going to push biometric identifiers in different regions, different countries of the world. Right? All in preparation of the CHIP, the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down. The government has also allowed the consolidation of the citizen codes into a single identity platform that will be connected to other state databases and administrative records. According to the decree, there's that word again, the Ministry of the Interior and the Digital Transformation Agency must create a unified identity platform within 90 days, while public and private institutions will be required to update their systems to recognize the identifier. The country also plans to kickstart a national program to collect biometric data from children and adolescents within 120 days, according to the new outlet Mexico Business. CERP raises surveillance suspicions. Let me bring this out. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Right? Woe means destruction. Right? Unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Right? The stroke of a pen, writing into law grievousness. Right? Executive orders. Right? NLT, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws, right? Because it's all about control, man. Right? This devil, it's all about control. It says here, the first CUPR was issued in 1996, allowing both citizens and residents to use it in tax filings, company records, schools, passport applications, and other government services. The biometric version of the code began rollout at the beginning of 2025. Privacy advocates, however, have viewed the introduction of the mandatory biometric ID with suspicion, raising concerns that the CERP will lead to surveillance and data security issues. The new law, for instance, does not require authorities to inform citizens when their data is viewed or accessed. This puts us in a massive surveillance ecosystem with no provisions to identify wrong use of data breaches, identity theft, or acts of corruption. It says here, Cooper could also allow Mexico to establish data sharing agreements with other countries, including a deportation deal with the U.S. law enforcement agencies. Rights groups such as Article 19 believe that the ID will give intelligence services access to data without restrictions or transparency. Mexico's national security agencies, such as the National Intelligence Center and the National Guard, are among the government bodies that will gain access to the biometric data. The government says that the misuse of sensitive data, including biometrics, is regulated by existing data privacy laws. You can't listen. A wiretap can only be approved by a judge according to the Constitution and the law, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said at the beginning of July. Scripture says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not. There are 7 more abominations in his heart being mine. Let's get that real quick. Right, they tell you, oh, don't worry about it. We got security in place. You never trust thine enemy. Proverbs 25. Proverbs 26 and 25. NLT. They pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts being minds, are full of many evils. Evils being bad times. KJV. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. 7 being completion. Right? He's a complete, wicked, evil, cannot be trusted. Sirach 12 and 10. It reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? And this man is just wicked. Layers of wicked. Layers upon layers upon layers. He's not upright. There's no truth in him. He's wicked. Right? And these elites, their agenda is a new world order, world control, one world government, CHIP, the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down. Right? Let's close with that. Right? What we're seeing now is just the preparation. Right? The preparation. All they need is the Black Swan event to make it mandatory worldwide. Revelation 13 verse 16. And it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, right? The Greek word for mark is charagma. Strong G 5480. And it reads, charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach, the mark branded upon horses, thing, carved, sculpture, graven, work, right? And inserted under the skin device. Strong's from the same as G482, Salaki, G5482, a scratch or etching, right? I.e. stamp as a badge of servitude or sculptured figure, statue, graven mark, right? Karax. Strong's G5482, this is the root, Karax. A pale or stake, a palisade or rampart, pails between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together, right? A pail or a stake, right? The delivery device, right? Through the idea of scratching in the Strongs, sharpened to a point akin to through the idea of scratching, right? A palisade or a rampart, right? So it's an inserted, this C hip this micro C hip that's coming will be an inserted device, right? It says here to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? The Neuralink. For 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? The barcode of this beast system, the beast being NATO, the EU, America the Great, Babylon the Great, right? So no buying or selling. You're going to have to get down with this beast, right? But all roads lead to the MOTB. All this is to fulfill prophecy, man, right? All the things like this will lead to the MOTB, man, right? There's no way around it, right? And we saw the buzzwords decree and all your information on there, right? This is all beta testing. This is all the foundation of the MOTB, right? We're at the end of this thing, man. You know, we're just looking on a few more prophecies, man. The MOTB, right? Jacob's trouble, World War III. So that call Allah Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone to teach one rule well. Shalom to the elect.